Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with our Eibar career mode here, and I have bad news. We ended up having two episodes corrupt. So you guys are going to see the results here in the round of 16 of the Cup. We came up against Real Betis. That's where we left off in the last episode. We got a 1-0 victory there. We then moved forward, played Atletico Madrid at the weekend, got a 1-0 victory there. Fantastic game. Really wish you guys could have seen that one. And then to end out that episode, we played Real Betis one more time in the Cup for the second leg. Just needed to go ahead and draw the game, which we did. So we got a 0-0 there. Went into the weekend, played against Espanyol. Also got a 0-0 draw there. So a little bit disappointing to get a 0-0 draw in the league, but it is what it is. We didn't drop too many points doing so. It's better than a loss. So midweek, we end up in the Cup again. We get a 1-1 draw against Valladolid, and then we actually ended up playing them in the league that weekend and ended up getting a 1-1 draw again. So we get two 1-1 draws against them coming into the final. It was honestly the craziest game ever. We ended up winning 2-1 in extra time. Honestly, a mind-blowing game. Really wish you guys could have seen it. Jamie Vardy, we had just brought him in right before that game started, literally the day of the game. Ended up bringing him into the game, started him in the starting lineup. He plays through the entire game and scores in the dying embers of the game. So he ends up tying us 1-1. We go into extra time, and then we end up winning it 2-1 in extra time, like I said. So that is where we are at now, coming into the current episode. Like I said, those are the only games we really missed. Jamie Vardy was our big signing. He was the one I was mainly focused on and trying to bring in. So as of right now, that's the only changes we have made to the squad. Jamie Vardy is, as of right now, a 72 overall rated player. Obviously, this is early on in the game, so he didn't get that attribute boost or anything whenever we had started this series. So it is what it is. He's still a very strong player, even though he has a 72 rated. Coming into this game against Deportivo, they're actually second in the league. They have a couple of our players. We actually ended up selling our goalkeeper. That's another transfer I forgot to tell you guys about. Not our starting keeper, our backup keeper that wasn't happy because he wasn't getting played. Deportivo came out, said they were going to pay a pretty good price for him, so I ended up letting him go. He's the backup keeper there too, so it's not like he really got too much of a change of scenery, but they may be playing him a little more often than we did. So coming into this game, obviously this is also the team that bought one of our other players. I'm trying to remember who they bought. I can't remember off of the top of my head. It was one of our wingers, one of our midfielders. So a little bit of a grudge match here, and top 4 game overall. So definitely wanted to win this game. Coming into the second half, we were at a 0-0 draw. Definitely wanted to get the win here. We had a couple opportunities, and honestly some really, really good opportunities for us to win this game, but they managed to keep us out pretty well. My crosses are still getting a little too close to the keepers. I still haven't fully adjusted to the keepers coming out as often as they do, so it puts me at a position where I end up always kicking the ball to the keeper, but he always punches it out, so it's really not too harmful for me that keeps happening. So coming a little bit further on in this game, not too much happening, but we do end up getting a breakaway here with Iheanacho. He cuts the ball in, gets a nice pass out to Jamie Vardy, and Jamie Vardy puts it in the back of the net. So 2 games in a row, he manages to grab a goal for us. He's playing really well. Even though he does have that 72 rating, he's a fantastic finisher. He has really good attacking positioning. There's just a couple stats here and there that don't let him be an elite quote-unquote striker. So it doesn't really bother me that he's 72 rated. He is around 30 years old, 29 to 30 years old at this point. So his ratings are going to drop a little bit, but overall my actual game plan, Jamie Vardy, is to honestly move him to center attacking mid, which I do in this game. If you guys have noticed, Iheanacho is obviously in the game, and Jamie Vardy was actually playing behind him. So we actually should have scored like 2 or 3 more goals in the dying embers of this game, but we weren't able to. So this game does come down to a 1-0 win for us. So we managed to grab a couple points to catch up to Deportivo and Barcelona in the league. So as of right now, I think we're still sitting in 4th after that game. but it does put us in a good position. So like I said, Jamie Vardy probably going to be playing center attacking mid in the future for us. I think I actually make that change in this following game. This is only going to be a 2-game episode this time around because it is the end of the transfer window, and I do a little business at the end. I didn't want to make the episode too long, so I do kind of focus on the transfer window a little bit. A little bit of training here. Our players are progressing pretty well. As you see, Orozco, I cannot pronounce his name for the life of me, actually is going to be going out on loan in this episode, but he is a 70 rated overall right now. Just not really seeing too much of an opportunity to put him into the squad right now. I actually loan listed all of my players that are trained or players that I got out of the youth league. So I was trying to hopefully get a little business going along with them. As you guys saw, I am going after Timo Werner. Timo Werner, fantastic player for me. If you guys have seen Jape's career modes in the past, you know who he is. Werner the Burner, fantastic player, fantastic pace, fantastic potential. One of the best players that I've always gone after in the past. Definitely wanted to try to bring him in this game as well. I wasn't too sure how cheap he was going to be in this game, but it actually managed to be a pretty manageable fee for him. So obviously right now I don't have the funds to do so, so I'm going to try to give them a player and a little bit of funds and see if that really works out for us. So I actually end up offering my center back and a couple £100,000 or dollars rather. I'm doing dollars in the series, just to try to kind of coax them into doing the deal. So coming into this game against Granada, obviously, you know, they're not doing too hot in the league. It puts us in a good position to grab some points here, grab a couple goals, and try to do our best. Here in the 5th minute of the game, we actually managed to grab a goal early on, which is fantastic that it happened. You know, King, he's been a little struggling with goals recently. He's been in good positions, but never in a position to score. He actually managed to just crank a goal out there and actually gave us a really good opportunity to take a 1-0 lead, and we actually managed to take it. So the rest of this first half, I was dominating in all honesty, but it was a lot of dominating in the midfield. It wasn't really progressing too much into opportunities. Here in the 20 to 25th minute, I actually get a few opportunities here, a few corners to play with. Jamie Vardy, I keep kind of forcing the ball to him to try to get something going, try to get his long shots involved, see if I can pull a little bit of a wonder that he managed to pull off at the weekend. If you guys saw, weekday, if you guys saw his goal against Liverpool, beautiful goal. You know, even Jurgen Klopp said that it was a fantastic goal. He's just a little disappointed he was the opposing manager for the game. So overall, I'm really happy. Jamie Vardy was the main person I wanted to bring in for the season because my strikers have been struggling a little bit other than Iheanacho. So I did want to bring him in because Iheanacho by himself only has 7 goals, and if we're going to compete for top 4 and even top 2, we're going to definitely have to start putting more goals up on the board. So Jamie Vardy, definitely a good buy for us, I think, overall. The first half is going to end in a 1-0 lead for us. Here in the second half, kind of the same thing. A little bit of a midfield battle, not much going on. But here in the 70th minute, we brought a couple players in, and we managed just to work his way into the box, shoot the ball at the keeper, but we aren't able to score. Bringing in Inui, having Inui and Miyaichi in the game, as you guys are going to see here, Miyaichi grabs a goal for us, gives us a 2-0 lead. But having that pace on both sides really helps us, and which is really why I'm so excited to try to bring in Timo Werner. If he can give that pace on that left-hand side, even just a little bit more than Inui has been able to give us, it'll put us definitely at the next tier. Miyaichi with a lovely last-second cross to Iheanacho to give us another goal. And here in the 87th minute, we get one more opportunity. As you guys see, I actually do end up bringing on Irazako, if that is how you pronounce his name. And we managed to cross the ball over, and Heinrich misses a header, ball falls perfectly to his left foot, and he smashes it into the back of the net. It was one of the most complicated goals that I've ever seen. You know, I didn't take the shot with Heinrich because I wasn't confident in his shooting, but the ball managed to fall back to his feet anyways, and we end up taking a 4-0 lead in this game. 4 different goal scorers, which is exactly what I wanted to see. Me bringing in Vardy was specifically to make sure that more people were scoring in my squad, and he seems to be doing that even when he's not playing in that striker role. So this game was incredible for me. It felt really good just playing with all these players, playing with so many strikers and strike options on the field. It gave us a lot of options, and it was just a really good game. Really glad he was offside because I did want to keep the clean sheet and keep a 4-0 lead in this game, because it's going to give us a better goal difference to go up against Barcelona for that top 2 spot. So like I said, this game does come to a 4-0 lead. That is the last game of the episode, and we're just going to go into a little bit of transfer business here on transfer deadline day at the end of the window. So they come back and say that they want 3.5 for Timo Werner. Originally, I was like, okay, maybe I'll do it. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to bring this back down to about 2 million and see if they'll take it. Because usually when they immediately say that they want like 3-4 million plus for added on to a player, they don't actually want that. They just want to see if you're willing to pay it. Which, arguably I kind of was, kind of wasn't. I was also in the market for another right back because Douglas can't play every game. So I was looking at Yedlin. I was going to give him Isaiah Brown, who's been out of form for me, just out of sorts altogether, and just give him a couple million and see if I could bring him in. Espanyol comes for Kappa. He's not really progressing too much. He's still a strong player for me, so I still wanted to get about 6 million out of him, especially with me bringing in Timo Werner. I have a lot of winger options now. Obviously, all of them kind of being left mids, but definitely can play on the right as well. So I wasn't too worried about keeping Kappa anymore. I actually try to also go after Hajrovic in this transfer window. I don't really show you guys because the deal ended up not working out, but I think I'm going to definitely try to go after him one more time in the next window, just because he is that player that was so vital for our first season. But the Yedlin deal goes through. We don't have the funds to give him the deal he wants immediately because I'm more focused on the Werner deal. So I try to kind of lowball him and try to give him a bigger squad role to see if he'll take it. He doesn't bite, but for Espanyol, I wanted to try 7 million, see if they were willing to pay it, which is actually more than I originally offered. So, just out of curiosity, and we actually managed to bring in Timo Werner, 2 million plus a center back, which really wasn't getting much play time. I might regret giving away one of my center backs because I was keeping him in a good rotation, but I'm comfortable with the center backs I have right now, and I'm definitely going to be looking for more in the future. But we also have a deal coming for Gonzalez, which you guys may know that I'm not really a big fan of Gonzalez. He hasn't been playing well for me, so I wasn't too focused on trying to bring him in, or trying to keep him in the squad rather. So I try possibly selling him on. The deal doesn't go through. We get obviously the funds to bring in Yedlin after we do sell off our striker. So I tried a deal for him for 50K a week, a crucial first team player, or important first team player, whatever I did. He doesn't end up biting. He doesn't want, he wants more because he's comfortable where he's at. So for me, that was kind of the last straw. I didn't really want to give him any more money, so I wasn't too worried about it. Here's the loan deal I was talking about. I am going to send him off to Atletico Madrid, which I know is an equally strong, if not stronger team, but he'll be able to train a little bit more with some better players. I'm hoping that between training and getting occasional games here and there, that he's able to actually grow as a player more so than he's able to grow with us, and it allows us to grow more youth players. Here, I'm trying to sign Wanyama on a end of contract deal. He wants 60,000 a week, so I was like, okay, you know what, I'm okay with doing that. So we try to sign him. He ends up saying that he loves where he's living, he doesn't want a deal, and then he kind of wanted more money, and then he wanted a different position. By the time I was actually able to get a deal going for him, it just wasn't really going to work out. So at the end of the transfer window, we fall out of this deal because we weren't able to get it done before the end of the window. So it is what it is. We're not going to be getting Wanyama on the end of contract. It's not really too disappointing. We have strong center mids, center defensive mids in the squad, so I'm not too worried about it. Celta Vigo tries to sign me, but Eibar till I die, so we're going to keep with the squad we have here. That was one of our youth players that is looking really promising for us. But that is going to be the end of the episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on the video. And until the next one, I'll see you guys later.